Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. This project is going to make a gorgeous and very pretty card using a little bit of paper folding and lots of our gorgeous Anna Griffin products. So the first thing I'm going to do is just run through how to make the card. Everything I use I'll put in the description box below, and if you've ever got any questions please feel free to ask. So I've got a 7x5" ivory card base. Now this is my favourite size of card. I know I probably use it too frequently, but I just can't help myself because I find it's the perfect base to be able to make a card on. It's not too big and not too small. This is how it looks on our cardometer. You can see it's just slightly smaller than the A5 and bigger than the A6. So I use the cardometer to give you a rough idea of size for anybody who struggles with some kind of comparison, or to be able to visualise how big or small the card actually is. So that's roughly why I use the cardometer. Now I'm going to use a bone folder to just run down the edge of the card to give a good sharp score, because then it'll stand up nicely and it gives a professional finish, even though wherever you've got the card base from there is a score normally, not unless you're making your own, in which case you will use your bone folder. But if you've purchased your card, I always just give it that extra score along the edge to make sure that it sits nicely. So the first thing we're going to do is the inside, because I know how much you love seeing the ideas for the inserts. Now this is a very simple but very pretty idea. So the first thing we're going to use from Anna Griffin is one of the 7x5 metallic layers. Now this is one of the Lilac cardstock layers. I've slightly trimmed it so that it will fit inside the actual card and give just a little border around the edge, so it doesn't fill the card. And we'll just place it in like so. The next thing I've got is a piece of ivory cardstock. Now this is just general all-purpose ivory cardstock. Could be any make or model, and I've simply cut the layer slightly smaller, just less than an inch smaller than the base layer of the lilac cardstock, and I'm going to position that through the centre of our card like so. So we're quite simple so far. Now the next thing that I've got is, it's a floral, it looks like an embellishment but it isn't, and I'll show you how I've got it. Now for the front of the card I'm going to be using one of the pretty layers from Anna, and for the top layer I've actually done some cut work and I can show you that. Now the centre panel of the cut work is actually the little floral section here that we're going to use for the insert. So I've saved it, I haven't thrown it away, and I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and I've just slightly inked the edge with the olive green ink pad from Anna, and then I've got two little tabs that I've used on lilac paper from the the Charlotte collection. I knew I'd stuff up there, and I've simply stamped using two of the clear birthday stamps. There's a set with 22 birthday stamps in, and that's the set that I've used. I've used black stays on ink. One says for your special day and the other says birthday greetings. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to position these on the side of our embellishment so that they actually just stick out a little bit like that. And then I've got tape on the back of the little flags, so I'll peel the tape away and then we can position it inside our card. So I'll just add that again like so, and we can position that wherever we want it, and I'm going to go kind of central like that. So you've still got room to be able to write your message, your to and from, etc. And it just looks so pretty without being too much, because the front of our card is going to be very, very fancy. So I'm just now going to use my bone folder again to keep that nice crisp score line, and we'll start with the outside. Now, I said it's going to be very fancy, and the first thing we're going to do is add a metallic layer like we used for the inside. Now, this metallic layer I've not cut down, and it's the full 7 by 5 inch size, and I'm simply going to position it across the front of our card like so. And that's our first layer. The second layer is going to be one of the pretty layers, and I've got tape on the back of it. I haven't done anything to it apart from trim it slightly to be able to show that lilac edge around the outside of the card. Now, you've already seen the cut layer that I've prepared, taking the first pretty layer and trimming out the sides, the top section and the centre like so. But what we're going to do is we're going to use some of the rosettes, and we're just going to add these to the back of our layer. Now, I want to show you it first of how I've added the tape. I've added flat tape across 4 sections, and then I've added foam tape in 4 corners. Now, there's quite a lot of foam tape. It's quite high, so this card might not be one to post because of the actual depth of it. So you might want to give this to a person rather than post it if you're trying to be economical with your postage. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use 2 pre-made rosettes from Anna, and you can get a set. There was 36 pre-made rosettes in them with lots of different colours and designs, and I'm going to use 2 of them at the sides of the actual design. Now, where I've put the flat tape on the back, that means I can position the rosettes before I stick them onto the actual card front. So the 2 rosettes are going to go either side of the design like that, and they're in position. And then I've also made 2 rosettes using the same lilac paper from the Charlotte collection, and then I can position these actually underneath the top section like so, and then one again at the bottom like so. There we go. And once the rosettes are in position, then I can attach it to the front of my card, because you wouldn't be able to, well, you probably maybe would, but it would take you longer to position the rosettes on the actual card front. It's just easier to do it from the actual section. So we've stuck the layer onto the card front now. There was tape on the back of the rosettes to help those stick as well. Next, from the fancy sentiment, the favourite sentiment sticker collection, I've got a sentiment that says wishing you happy birthday. Now, this was actually a sticker, but I've put foam strips on the back. I've had to judge it for the height of the actual rosettes that are in the middle, and this will now position central in that section that we cut out, and it stands proud like so. But this is a full 3D card, and the last thing that I've got to finish the card off is a beautiful lilac satin bow, and I'm just going to position it just at the centre of the sentiment at the top, like that. There we go. And that finishes the card off perfectly. You can see the paper folding from the rosettes. You've got the depth and the height with the foam pads to make it look 3D. It stands up nicely, and you've got your matching insert that matches with the patterns from the front. There it is stood up, so it would stand proud on any mantelpiece. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this, because I think this is such a pretty card. It's such a great idea to use the pretty papers and the pretty patterns that Anna gives us and look at them and think, which sections can I cut out? How can I manipulate it to make it into something unique for me? And I just think that sums it up. It's got a little bit of everything and it's not too difficult. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you've got anything to say, please feel free, because I love hearing from you. It takes me a day or so to get back to you, only because of, other commitments and things. I'm a busy bee, but I do get back to everybody eventually, so, just give me a little bit of time. So all that remains for me to say is thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.